right. Thank you. So let's go on.
She didn't say the picture of no. She's still on.
You are still on fiction now. You have not gone to non-fiction.
It's still the same.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'll explain now.
No, she's asking that. Have you gone to non-fiction?
So I've mentioned.
Future. But I know you said they are facts.
Yeah. I actually just explained to move on, but it's fine. I can just go through. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. So non-fiction books are based on facts and information, like I said earlier. So they give you real thoughts about something. So for example, there's nothing in this world you want to research on. There's always a book. So those kind of books are the non-fiction books. Okay. They also they always have this index and the glossary where you have the page numbers. I'm looking for a particular page, probably let me see, part of the eye, for example, or digestive system. So I go to the page.
The human body, the ear.
Yes, so you're able to go and check for the information you need in that particular book. Those are non-fiction books. And most times they have content pages. You know, for the fiction, they don't have content, they just have stories. But for the non-fiction, they have content pages. So you can go to the particular page you want and research. So these are examples of the non-fiction books. We have dictionary, history books, nature books, science books, art books, biographies. They are all non-fiction books. So are we okay? Are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so let's go on.
Biographies,
nature books.
Are you still trying to write something there? Should I go back?
No. Should she go back? Oh, we're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know how, do you now have interactive whiteboards that you can use in class or use your laptops in the classroom?
We make use of laptop and laptops.
Okay, so sometimes you can actually
they have access to projector, but they use laptop.
Okay, so for the laptops, once in a while, you can actually go and look for colorful stories for those children so that they're able to, there's something about colors, okay? No matter how you say you want to read the hard copy of books, sometimes the children are always excited to see the soft copy of some books. Like what I have on the screen now, if you're seeing this kind of image on the screen and you are reading, it excites them. There's this feeling they have when they see books, when they see e-books. Okay.
Wi-Fi here, please. Wi-Fi is on. It's not. It's not connected. No man, it's not.
All right. So let me go on by saying that to make your work easier for you when it comes to reading, you have to know every child in the classroom. You have to know every child in the classroom. So the children have different learning style and abilities. And the only way you can make use of their strength is by knowing them. When you know, for example, some children are very good when it comes to reading fluently. They read very fluently, while some, they write very nicely. Okay, so it's just basically to identify where their strength is and see how you can accommodate and help them in different ways. So once you know each child, you are able to differentiate the books they will be reading, and then the kind of task you're giving to them. So in a classroom of 15, for example, you can't have them at the same level. It's not possible. It has never happened. You can't have 16 children in the classroom at the same level. There will definitely be, some gaps here and there. So you can actually group them maybe into 3, into 4, okay, groups, and then you have the kind of the levels, book levels you'll be giving to them. So for every author, most times they have reading levels. They have level 1, 2, 3, 4. So for example, table 1 are the high flyers. They can be reading the level, maybe the level 4, level 5 books. That's the complex one. Maybe table 2, maybe the middle, just give them maybe level 3 or 4, so they can identify with those words that are there. Those that are still trying to, read and learn some new words, they can go with level 1. So the goal is for them to be able to retell the books they are reading, and also identify the new words in the books. Very, very important. And then the only way you can ensure that you're making progress is to assess their reading. So that way, if the children are actually reading and knowing the words that are in the book, or they're reading for fun. And we should also learn to encourage collaborative learning. There are times that in a classroom, I teach a particular topic. After explaining and everything, some still don't get it. What I do is I just try to say, okay, you know what? Let's group ourselves into 3. I pick those that already know it and I put them in the other groups. I allow them to go and collaborate, to go and, discuss and come up with something. Some days I could just say, you know what? In a particular group, I have 3 or 4 students. One of them will be the writer. All the information they want to give to me, one of them will write it down. The other one will be the presenter. So in a group of 4, you might have one shy one there. That one will just give him ideas and all. But in that same group, you have the ones that will be very, very, articulate. That one will be the one that will present to the classroom that, okay, in my group, this is what we discussed, and this is what we came up with. So when they are done, they will actually self-assess themselves from the feedback they're giving to the teacher. You allow them, from what you've given to me, what do you think? So they would actually assess themselves, and then, that way, everybody is involved. There's no I'm a quiet person in the class. Everybody will be involved in the activities as well. And it makes your work easier. So I want to show you different comprehension passages as well that can be used. Please give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So I'm sharing a particular text for a nursery 2 or a year 1 class, depending on the group of children that are in the class. So here it says, "Pat the cat." This kind of comprehension passage is for a particular age level. Those that are still learning the 3-letter word. So Pat is the cat, Pat sat on the mat. As long as the child has been taught sounds, the child should be able to read this comprehension passage. Okay? Pat the cat saw a bat. The bat sat on Pat. Pat and the bat sat on the mat. Pat the cat saw a gnat. So for this comprehension passage now, most likely the unfamiliar word the child will see in this passage might be gnats. So for gnats, you don't sound the G. It's a silent letter. So the word is gnat. So this could be the word to research for that day. What is a gnat? They have to research that day, check dictionaries and see the meaning of that word. Let me clear this. So the next one I want to. Okay. Can you still see my screen? I need a response, please.
We can see it, the zoo trip.
Okay, thank you. So if you observe that the first one I showed you just now was kind of a low level for maybe a year one child. This is higher. This can be for a year two, or even a year one that is an high flyer can actually read this as well. So the child is meant to read the information and then answer the questions under it. So basically it's for the child to be able to identify any new word and know the meaning, not to ignore the word and say maybe later I will go and check for the word. So for every text that is being read and a new word is being discovered, it should be researched immediately, know the meaning immediately. That way it helps the child vocabulary. Okay, so I think I've explained the comprehension parts. Now, do I have those that are teaching maybe the upper elementary? Are they around you? Year 4, year 5, year 6?
We have only year 4.
Okay, so for year 4 teachers, another amazing thing you can do with the students is to start drawing inferencing. So I shouldn't say that. So what do I mean? What do I mean, or what do you think I mean by drawing inferences? Have you heard about inferencing before? Please, the year 4 teacher should respond.
No.
Okay, so inferencing is basically.
We are muted, Abby.
I heard her.
Okay.
I heard her.
Okay.
Yes. So inferencing basically is allowing the students, okay, to begin to use their thinking, their imagination, okay, their creativity in language. So an example is you giving them a picture. Okay, you can group them. It can be an activity in the classroom. You group them in twos. Give them a picture. They should look at the picture and tell you what they think about what's going on in that picture. They're supposed to sit down, give them a paper. They should write what they think is happening in that picture. So with that kind of activity, there's no way you will not sit down and think about it. It's just a picture. There are no words. So before, I know I have to give my teacher a response. So it means I have to sit down and collaborate with my partner, isn't it? So they need to sit down, look at the picture, talk about, what might happen in this picture, what is really happening in the picture. So they will be able to sit down, then you begin to see different kind of ideas come up. Even the way you least imagine, they begin to come up with different creative ideas about what they can see in that picture. I have another one here. This is another picture, for example. So you show them this, for example, and say, okay, can you infer this picture? What do you think? So somebody might say they are in the bus, they are in the train. You get different kind of responses. They are having a conference, different responses. I know you begin to ask the how. I'm sure you all know the Bloom's taxonomy, right? Are we aware of the Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes, now. Hello, teachers. Are you aware of the Bloom taxonomy?
Bloom's taxonomy.
I need a response.
Hello.
I can hear you, ma.
Okay.
I can hear you. I think it's network. It's network. Network is bad. So for Bloom's taxonomy, if you are having a language class, you should be able to know how to assess understanding, okay? And how to ask questions. So a random comprehension passage will allow a child to remember what he or she has read. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure it's the network, but I think we'll manage, we're fine. So the usual comprehension passage will allow the child to remember what he or she has read or to understand. And I might need to mute. Okay. So at the point when you begin to, make a child think is where you have the analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So when you begin to analyze, you are asking the child, what do you think is happening? Different from reading a story about Cinderella. Okay, why didn't Cinderella go to the ball? That's a very direct question. It's just for the child to remember and then give you the answer. But when you ask things like, what do you think would have happened, okay, if by midnight, the bell, or by midnight, Cinderella couldn't leave the castle? Things like that. They begin to think about, okay, what, options do I have? You begin to see them talking about it, coming together to criticize and they argue and all of that. Another amazing way to help your language classes is when you allow them to do a lot of role play. Role playing brings out another dimension in your students. Right from year one, don't think that they are too young. Let's begin to plan role plays, even if it is once a term. You know what? This is a particular book. We're going to role play it. And then you see how your students will transform their vocabulary, their fluency, everything would, you just begin to see a change in them. So I just wanted to explain how the Blooms affects comprehension, our language styles. Okay, so I think I'm good with that. So do I have any questions before I move to spelling? Do I have any question?
No, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right. So let me move to the next slide. I'm done with this one. Just give me a minute. Okay. Let's go through spelling proficiency. How do we ensure that our spellings are intact as we, empower these students in class? How do they cultivate the spelling, habits and unlock their potential? I actually already shared one way to help with spelling, which is that giving them spelling words, for example, on a Monday, and then they have the whole week to learn it, and they are aware that every Friday it's a spelling test. Okay, so once you do that, you begin to see improvements in a lot of spellings in the classroom. So let's watch this video quickly. Can you hear the video, please? Can you hear the video? I need the response.
You can hear only the sound.
Okay, only the sound. Okay. Yes, but you have to look at the contents. So I'll continue playing it now. Let me ensure that I'm online because my power just went up.
They took light here too.
Yes, so I'm connecting to my hotspot here. Okay. You can't see it.
No people. Only the music.
Okay. I'm sharing again. Just let me know when you see it. Or let me even stop and share. I'll stop and share again. Can you see it now? Can you see my screen now? Sorry, it's my network.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so how do we ensure that the students take care with their spellings?
Hello, can you take it? I didn't know. I was expecting a different kind of video. Yeah, can we go back to the first page?
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, Diane.
pause here. So it says, how do you ensure that your students take care with their spellings? So it says here, give your students an audience for writing. Their writing needs to be purposeful and meaningful. So when they begin to write, don't accept, there has to be a standard, that's the word, there has to be a standard of their writing. So for example, you tell them, when you're coming to me with your writing, I need to see you use your punctuation marks, and you begin by using a capital letter. They should know what you expect from them when they're giving you any spelling at all. The last one says, knowing that they will share their writing encourages them to take care with their work, including their spelling. So, for example, you're telling them that, okay, you know what, as they come back after the holiday, for example, I didn't know I was muted. If they are asked to write about how did they spend their Easter holiday, for example. So when they're writing that, you tell them, after writing, you're going to read it to the class. It's not just for me to mark it. So whatever you're writing, you will read it to the class. They will hear what you've been able to write down. That way, the child puts more efforts in the write-up. The child wants to impress, his or her friend in class, and then put more effort in the write-up. So let me continue with the video. Sorry, I had to switch to my generator. Sorry about that.